What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a new video. We're doing the top 20 NFL draft steals, and let's go and get right into it. And we're not going to go in specific order. Well, we are going by just like round picked, and if they're in the same round, we'll by whatever pick they were picked by. So let's go and just get started. So number 20, we have CeeDee from the Dallas Cowboys. He was obviously a first round pick, but my number one receiver in the class. He went all the way down to 17 overall. Many people have him going like really early, like 10, 11, trade ups and stuff. And he fell all the way to 17, and Cowboys stole him for Philadelphia. It's a huge steal for him. CeeDee He's a big play threat. He can do anything on the field. He's great He's great at getting off press coverage, great movies. He's a great route runner. He's amazing under catch, makes spectacular catches. He's just an amazing wide receiver. And obviously they have Cooper and McFarland already. So it's not the biggest need for them, but obviously gotta take the value and maybe you trade Michael Gallup or something to get CeeDee Lamb. I guess CeeDee Lamb's better than Michael Gallup in my opinion. Just he will be at least. Yeah, Lamb's on number. Lamb was my number one receiver, 17 overall, behind Henry Ruggs and Jerry Judy. Good receivers in their own right, but I thought CeeDee was better. So next in the draft steal, in my opinion. Next, Jaylon Johnson to the Chicago Bears in the second round, 18th overall. Jaylon Johnson was my number 2 corner in the class, in my opinion, behind Okudah, of course. Actually, no, 3 behind Okudah and CJ Henderson. He's my number 3 corner. He's amazing in pretty much every aspect in the game. Well, he's mainly a cover 3 press corner, but he has great speed. He's good size at 6 foot 193. My corners are kind of short, but he's got 6 feet at least. And he's good. He's great in zone. He's great in press, and he's good at man too. He has decent footwork, but yeah, that's something he needs to work on. But I still think he has amazing potential. He's going to be a superstar corner, and he was probably my biggest draft crush this year. I really wanted Niners to get him. We obviously didn't, but I think he's going to be an elite corner in the future for the Chicago Bears. That takes us to number 18, which would be AJ Epenesa to the Buffalo Bills in the second round at 22nd overall. I had Epenesa going in the first round to the Minnesota Vikings, moving on 22nd overall, which is the pick they got for Stephon Diggs, of course. That's why it was 22nd. Because Diggs, the Bills, whatever. But Epenesa, he's a bigger edge rusher. He's 6'5", 275, and he's amazing, refined, like pass rusher. He knows what he's doing. He has all the skills. He has all the. He's more he's technical. I guess you could say he's not necessarily like the most speedy or athletic guy, but he's definitely someone who's extremely technical with his game. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to play the game correctly, and he's just going to be amazing for the Bills. He'll be able to replace guys like Alexander, and he's going to be a great player for the Bills, who did have a decent edge rusher in my opinion. Yeah, Jerry Hughes still is getting older, and you know, have a young presence there, and I think AJ Epenesa can fill that role perfectly. I'm just shocked he fell all the way to the 22nd pick in the second round. As I said, I thought I was going in the first round. Had a first round grade on him. That's a steal. Now I moved to 17, which is a pick to the Arizona Cardinals. In the third round, 8th overall, it is Josh Jones, tackle from Houston. I thought he was the 5th tackle in the class, behind obviously top 4 back then. Thomas, Wills, who's the other guy? Worse. That was the 5th one behind those guys. When Dolphins took off from Jackson, I got Josh Jones. When every other team took any other lineman, I thought Josh Jones was the pick, but he somehow fell all the way to the 3rd round, to the fucking Cardinals. But he was a superstar blocker for Houston. He was not going to let anybody get by him in the pass game. He does need to get better a little bit in the run game. But Arizona, they're like air raid offense. Cliff Kingsbury, they got Kyler, they got DeAndre Hopkins now, they have Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, and Isabella. They have amazing receiving core, and they have just a great pass offense. Again, Josh Jones, that offensive line is huge, as that was probably their biggest need coming to the draft. Which is, I first had Isaiah Simmons. I had his grade thing down a little bit because I thought they should take a tackle that spot. But being able to get Josh Jones at the 3rd round, that makes Isaiah Simmons and this pick both A+. That's a huge steal for Arizona to get a guy like Josh Jones at the 3rd round. And it's like it is a drop off from, say, Jedrick Wills to Josh Jones, but it's not too far. It's not too big. It's not as big as going like Austin Jackson, who the Dolphins took in the first round. Anyways, we're going up, I believe, to 16 now, which is a pick to the Baltimore Ravens. 3rd round, 28th overall, Devin Duvernay from Texas. He is a slot receiver, of course, but I thought he had a 2nd round grade on him. He is amazing speed for a guy who's going to be playing in the slot. He's 5'11", 200 pounds. He's just so fast. He has great hands, and he just, even though he's a slot receiver, has great vertical ability. He'll make those catches over the middle as well. He's going to be a great weapon for Lamar Jackson, as you know, he loves to throw it more to like the tight ends and to the slot guys pretty much, because if you count tight ends playing in the slot, you play like double formation or anything. But he'll be an amazing slot receiver. He's going to be a safety blanket for Lamar outside of Mark Andrews, and they're going to have a lot of focus on that. And he played defense against great. You have to focus on Lamar's running. You have to focus on Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins now running, and Gus Edwards and Justice Hill, whoever's running back there. You have to focus on Marquise Brown's deep speed on the outside. You have to focus on Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends in the game, top 5 tight end. And I got to focus on Devin Duvernay in the slot, who's not only going to be great catches in traffic, but he has a top end speed as well, like Marquise Brown. Not as fast, but he's extremely fast as well. And he can burn your defense, and there's a lot. They're going to focus on the Ravens offense. Devin Duvernay is a big help to that. And he's going to probably be one, I think, their leading receiver in total. And that's a huge steal in the 3rd round. I had a 2nd round grade on him, as I said. He's going to be a stud for the Baltimore Ravens. And now let's go to a division rival, the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who were able to pick up Anthony McFarland in the 4th round, 18th overall, running back from Maryland. And he's not necessarily the best running back in the class, of course. But I think he was a top 10 back. I think he should have gone ahead of guys. I think he should have gone ahead of guys like, they say, AJ Dillon to the Packers. I thought he should have gone there. But McFarland, he's a scat back, great speed. He's a great complement to a guy like James Conner or even Jalen Samuels. He's a speed threat on that offense that the Ravens, that the Steelers don't have in that ground game, and McFarland will bring that for them. Even the receiving core, they don't have any burners. Anthony McFarland, he's probably the best player on offense by a country mile. He's going to be an elite weapon for him, and he's not just a speed back either. He has good power as well for being his size, 5'8", 208. He has good power. He can run through tacklers if you need him to. And he will get yards out of contact. And of course, with his speed, with his ability, he is also a good receiver. He's going to make catches out of the backfield for you. He'll make those receiving plays that you could replace Jalen Samuels now. And I just think that's an amazing pick for the Steelers. A huge steal for him in the 4th round, 18th overall. What a pick for them. And now we'll move on to another team in Pennsylvania. A lot of good transitions here. The Philadelphia Eagles able to pick Jack Driscoll in the 4th round, 39th overall as a compensatory selection. Driscoll is listed as a guard. He can also play tackle as well. He can play either spot. And he's from Auburn, and I think he's an elite pass blocker. And that's going to be a big help for Carson Wentz, who obviously has a big injury problem because he has a pretty good offensive line. It is getting older, and I think most of the stars are at 29 or in their 30s at this point. I know guys like Jason Kelsey, Brandon Brooks, Lane Johnson. I think Jason Peters is a free agent now, but all those guys are pretty sure are up or near their 30s, or in or near their 30s. And Jack Driscoll is a great young guy who could develop behind those guys. He needs to refine his game a little bit, but he's already an amazing pass blocker, which will help Wentz a lot. And even if he plays guard, he can play tackle. We'll see what he plays. Either way, he's going to be a steal in this draft for the Eagles, and they're going to be able to develop him to a star lineman, in my opinion. And he'll be someone you have to look out for years to come. And now another NFC East team. This is the 2nd time the Dallas Cowboys have showed up on this list. And this is actually literally the pick right after. I actually think the Eagles traded them this pick as well. And they were able to draft Tyler Biadasz from Wisconsin. And I thought Biadasz was a star offensive lineman, a great center. And the only problem with him is he's a little injury issue. I think that's why he fell in the draft just a little bit. I thought it was a 2nd round prospect or even a 1st round prospect like earlier on in the process. I moved down to 2nd rounder now. He went all the way to the 4th round, almost the 5th round. And he's a great run blocker. He's a good pass blocker as well. He's going to have good power. And he's not necessarily the fastest player in the world. He's 6'4", 314, or not the most athletic offensive lineman. but he'll be a great guy to develop to replace Travis Frederick, who was retired due to his medical issues this offseason. And that's just a big pick for Dallas, and especially getting it from Philadelphia, a division rival. That's going to be a big, like, bragging point for Cowboys fans, or even just Cowboys in general. They're going to know they got steal from the Eagles in this draft. I really quick want to see what's on. Alright, so I think this is 12th now, and we're going to the New York Jets, who picked up one of my favorite players in this class, Bryce Hall, in the 5th round, 13th overall in that round. And Bryce Hall, he's another guy who has injury issues. There's a lot of guys who have injury issues on this list because that's why they fell in the draft. That's why they ended up being steals. But Bryce Hall, he got hurt in his final year, and although he's a little slow, he's a great press corner, 6'1", 202 pounds. He's good size. He's not fast, obviously, as I just said, but he isn't slow either. He's a T-captain, long-time starter there. He's amazing in press coverage. He'll be amazing for the Jets in that scheme, and he has good hands as well. He's a playmaker. When he can get his hands on the ball, he will usually catch it. He's going to be an amazing cornerback. I was really begging the 49ers to draft him. As I said in the video, I was just grading the overall drafts themselves. Bryce Hall, I thought, was just an amazing pick for the Jets. I'm pretty sure they're easily their best pick in this draft. I'll let Mekhi Becton too, but I think getting Bryce Hall is going to be a huge help to the secondary, especially after getting rid of guys like Tremaine Johnson. After just overall really disappointing secondary play, he's going to be a great guy to fill in there and just be an amazing corner for him. And now we'll move on to, I believe, number 11, which is from the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round. Again, 15th overall, Nick Harris from the University of Washington. This guy, he is an amazing, agile, run-blocking type. They got Kevin Stefanski as their head coach in the offseason after firing Freddie Kitchens. Stefanski goes from that Vikings scheme, and the Vikings run a lot of zone running, similar to like the 49ers do. Obviously not as good, but 49ers zone run schemes, think of that. And you get Nick Harris, you get somebody who fits that scheme perfectly. He's extremely athletic and agile, and with the Browns having they have a good offensive line already, but they have veterans on the line like Batonio, J.C. Tretter. Those guys are pretty old. And with the carries, he can play center or guard. He can develop behind those guys who are also agile blockers, and he'll be able to just develop and play well, or develop well and eventually play well. If you just started him right now, I think he'd be a good starting lineman just day one. I don't know how he got all the way to the 5th round, but that's a huge pick for the Browns. He'll be amazing to develop, and that's a huge steal for them. Now the very next pick, to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another one of my favorite players in this draft class, 60th overall in the 5th round, Tyler Johnson from the University of Minnesota. And I have no idea how he got all the way to the 5th round. I've had him as a 3rd round prospect, and he's an amazing route runner. He'll separate perfectly, and he is amazing after the catch. He'll make guys miss. He's not like fast, he's not like a Devin Duvernay fast guy, but he is fast enough, and he will make moves on you. He's similar to a guy like, say, Brandon Ayuk that the 49ers got in the 1st round. He's not that quality of the yards on the catch guy, but he is similar in that aspect. He has decent hands. They're not elite, but with him, even then, he still has good hands. He will make most catches. Excuse me. But he's just an amazing receiver. I don't know how we got all the way to the 5th round. I was really high on Tyler Johnson, and I can't believe the Buccaneers of all teams got him. And Tom Brady, he is going to be extremely excited to have a guy like Tyler Johnson on his team. Now, a few picks later, the Miami Dolphins got another guy who's falling down the board. I never really figured out why. It is Curtis Weaver in the 5th round, 19th overall. I had Weaver as like a 2nd to 3rd round pick. I thought Weaver was going to go a lot higher than he did. And he's not like a superstar in any aspect, but he's good. He's just good in general. He's pretty much average to above average at everything he does. Finesse and power. He's a decent run stopper as well, and he will make plays. He will be just a playmaker for the defense. And I really did think he was going to go 2nd, 3rd round. I noticed he was falling. I was like, what's going on here? Why is Curtis Weaver falling? He is from Boise State, maybe it being a smaller school. You know, there's Boise State, which had a huge run at one point. But, I don't really know why he fell. we'll find out, I guess. We'll see if he ends up becoming an elite prospect in the NFL, like I think he can become. And with him being on the Dolphins here, he's going to have a chance to just show up, see how he plays. Dolphins are going to be a good team. Or they're not going to be a good team, but they're going to be a developing team. He'll be there to develop with them. See how he does. That takes us to 6th round prospects now. In mind, one of the biggest steals in the draft, Netane Muti to the Denver Broncos. Now, obviously, injuries are a huge factor here, and he's probably going to miss a lot of time, depending on if he can. There's 2 ways this can go. He could be like Sam Bradford, who has career ruin injuries, or RG3 or something like that, or he can become Frank Gore, who was able to overcome tons of injuries in college and not get hurt too often in the NFL and just be an elite player. And I think, and I only got hope that Netane Muti could be like Frank Gore rather than, say, Sam Bradford type. Netane Muti, he is one of the best players in this class. If he wasn't an injury, if he got injured 0 times, he just played every game, he'd be a 1st round pick easily, in my opinion. He's great. He's an amazing run defender. He's extremely strong. 44 reps on the bench. He's 6'3", 315. And he is, I'm reading this here, he was tied for the 4th most in NFL history in bench reps, which is just insane. He's just violent. He will power you. He will power through anybody. Or not really power through, but he will display his power, I guess. I don't really know how to say that. But he's just going to be extremely amazing. He's good in pass protection. He's good at run blocking, as obviously. But he is a power run blocker. He's not going to be necessarily agile. He's not fast, obviously. But he's still an amazing guard. And if he can stay healthy, that'll prove to be probably the biggest steal in this draft. I'll take us to, I believe, number 7. Yes, I was right. Number 7 here is Bravvion Roy, defensive tackle to the Carolina Panthers in the 6th round as well, of course. And number 5 overall in the round. And he's from Baylor. He is a nose tackle. But the one I like about him is I think he has pass rush upside. He had 5.5 sacks last year for the Baylor Bears. And I think with him having a decent pass rushing season, I think he has the potential to possibly develop in that category. He is obviously 330 pounds. He's going to be a better run defender than a pass rusher. But maybe he has like a Derek Brown upside where he can become a decent pass rusher as well. And I think that taking that chance in the 6th round, not really even a chance because he's still going to be a good player even if that doesn't happen. I think he's going to have just a really decent NFL career, and I think he's going to end up breaking it out for Carolina eventually. And that's funny because they also got Derek Brown, so they have Derek Brown and Bravvion Roy both in the same class, and they could end up being pretty similar players in the end. A 6th round pick and a 1st round pick. We'll see how it goes. I just think I haven't really high on Bravvion Roy, like probably just personally. I think he's a great player. We'll see what ends up happening with him though. I think he's going to be a very nice player. I was watching back those draft grade videos. I say nice and decent players so much. And I really need to find different words to say. Well, let's go ahead and get back to Baltimore Ravens. They already had Devin Duvernay, and then they got another wide receiver here in James Proche. And now Proche, I don't think he's as good as Duvernay, of course. What's his number 6 now? I don't know why I stopped counting the numbers. I have no idea why, but it's number 6. And Proche, he's just another guy who's going to play in the slot. He's another slot receiver, but I think he's a really good one. I think at a 4th round grade on him, I'm pretty sure he is great. He's great hands. He's amazing hands. He will make catches in traffic over the middle. He will take those hits, and he's going to show that in the league, of course. He could possibly even play on the outside, even though he is a slot receiver. I feel like Baltimore doesn't really care too much about where they play their receivers. They could play Duvernay on the outside, possibly. I think playing Duvernay in the slot's a better idea, but Proche, it's just amazing hands. He's not speedy, obviously. He has 5'11" 201, by the way. He's not speedy, really. He's a little short, but he's just going to make catches. He will make almost every catch. He won't drop very many passes, which is a huge asset to have as a wide receiver. If you're not going to drop passes, that's big. And I just think it's a huge steal. I think getting James Proche, he's going to be a very reliable receiver in the league. That takes us to number 5. And the Eagles, they took both of the Auburn tackles that they had. This one is Prince Tega Wanogho, 6th round. And as I get there, we'll find out what pick he was. I think it was 22nd, no, 31st. So Prince Tega Wanogho, this is actually the pick they got from the 49ers. But Prince Tega Wanogho, coming into the year, he had first round hype. I thought he would go in around the 3rd round. He fell all the way to the 6th. And now he's 6'5", 308, and he has decent agility for his size, or pretty good agility actually. And they're saying he might move to guard. I don't really think it matters. He was able to play decent tackle in college. I think he must have, I don't know why he fell so far, because I thought he was going to go, I knew he wouldn't be a first rounder like he was being projected early on, but I thought he'd go at least the 3rd, and possibly the 4th. I was like the 3rd though. He somehow got all the way to the 6th. But he has decent power, decent agility. He's just overall really balanced, pretty decent lineman. He's going to have, I said decent again, he's going to be a good lineman. He will be good, in my opinion. He's good pass protection, good run defense. He's both strong, and he has a little finesse to his game, a little athleticism to his game. He is going to be a good tackle, or he might not even be a good tackle, he might be a good guard instead, because it says here they might move him to guard, but we'll see. I think either spot that he plays, he'll end up being a good offensive lineman in the National Football League. He'll end up being a pretty decent steal in the 6th round, almost the 7th round. There was compensatory picks, so after that, so a little closer to the 6th round, I guess, but it was still 31st overall, 6th round. It's an amazing pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now take us to the New York Giants, a division rival of theirs, who were able to take Carter Coughlin in the 7th round, 4th overall, an edge slash just strong side linebacker, I guess, from the University of Minnesota. And our Minnesota on his list. And I thought Coughlin would go around the 3rd round, actually. I thought he'd go a lot higher. I believe this is number 4, by the way. That's his number again. Yeah, this is number 4, Carter Coughlin. And he's a good pass rusher. He's a decent run stopper as well. I said decent again. But he is a decent run stopper. He's a good pass rusher. He's okay in coverage. He's not that good in coverage, but he can do it. Which is why he's going to the New York Giants. I thought he'd go to a team with the Patriots, Giants, Dolphins, Lions, one of those teams. He went to the Giants. And this is going to end up being a huge steal for him. He's going to be a great player for him. And they took Cam Brown earlier. I think he's going to surpass him almost immediately. Carter Coughlin, he's a perfect fit in this scheme. He's going to flourish in this type of system. And just in general, he is good. He's good speed, good athleticism. He will rush the passer well. He's going to do everything he can. And he's going to pretty much play like a Jamie Collins type role in that defense with Dante Hightower. Just when you think of like guys, the Giants, Lions, Dolphins, and obviously the Patriots draft that outside linebacker, just think of a guy like Jamie Collins or Dante Hightower who play everything pretty much: coverage, run stopping, and pass rush. They can do it all, and I think Carter Coughlin fits that perfectly. I thought he'd go a lot earlier. It's a huge steal from New York, all the way in the 7th round. I'll take us to number 3, one of my favorite players in the class, who somehow got all the way to the 7th round. Another Raven, the 3rd one, Geno Stone from Iowa. He's a safety, and excuse me again, but I thought he is decent size, 5'10", 207. He's a little slow, which is probably why he fell. But I think he's a fantastic run stopper. He's going to make every play in the run game. He has good pursuit. He's good, and he's going to make hard hits. He's going to make those tackles. He's refined in that department. He knows how to tackle. He isn't going to be a single high safety. He's going to play strong. He's going to play in the box, and he's not the best in coverage, in like man or zone. He's decent in zone. He has good play rec. He knows what's going to happen on the field. He's very smart. He has good IQ, and although he's not going to necessarily take away like a Travis Kelce or anything like that, or George Kittle, he is going to be able to he'll be able to point out things. He's going to be smart enough to just know what he's doing on the field. He'll be able to play his zones, and he's not going to be amazing at man coverage, which is probably his biggest weakness. Besides him just being kind of slow in general, he's not really slow though. He is good. He's decent. I said decent. He's around average to above average, I think, in the speed department. Maybe a little below average. Average to below average in speed. But he's still going to be a great player. He will be a huge steal in the 7th round. I think going the 4th, 3rd to the 5th round for Geno Stone. He went all the way to the 7th, and of course goes to the Ravens. And that will go to number 2, the Los Angeles Chargers picked up KJ Hill in the 7th round. I thought KJ Hill's a 4th or 5th round pick. He went the 6th pick in the 7th round. And Hill, he's another guy who is a slot receiver. He is 6 feet tall, 196 from Ohio State. And although he's another guy who's a slot, he has amazing hands and he has decent speed. I said decent, yeah, again. He has good speed. He is fast. He has good agility and burst. He has good acceleration. He will get off the line for being a guy in the slot. And he's just going to make plays for the Chargers. He's going to be a good safety blanket. You already have Keenan Allen. You have Mike Williams. And if you can play KJ Hill in the slot, which I think will end up happening, or even Joe Reed did picked earlier, but I think KJ Hill's actually better. Barely, but just a little better. But KJ Hill, he might be able to fill a slot where he could keep Keenan Allen on the outside instead of putting him in the slot, third downs and stuff. Obviously, Hunter Henry. I think the Chargers, I think Terrell Taylor's gonna be able to lead that team and be successful because, yeah, but it's like he has the playmakers around him that don't make it too hard on him. You just throw it short, and you have Mike Williams. You just want to take a chance deep and you just launch it down on it. But I think KJ Hill's going to be a big help for this offense, and he's going to be a great guy in the short game and the slot game. And now at number 1, the biggest steal in the draft technically, Eno Benjamin to the Arizona Cardinals. Eno Benjamin I was watching Brandon Ayuk tape, and I saw Eno Benjamin playing football, and I was extremely impressed with Eno Benjamin. I think he's pretty speedy. He's good. He's very, very shifty. He's good acceleration. He's good agility. He's just extremely athletic. He won't make guys miss. He also can run through players. He has good power as well. Or not really good. He has okay power, but he will make guys miss. He has good power. He'll run through you if he has to. Sometimes, not every time. Say it's like a defensive tackle, he's not going to necessarily run through you, but he can run through corners. He can run through some linebackers. I think he can run through Patrick Queen for now. Maybe like as a rookie, maybe not after the Ravens develop into a superstar, but right now I think Eno Benjamin can run through Patrick Queen. And not just that, he's a good receiver as well. He makes a lot of catches. They ran off screens there at Arizona State to him, along with Brandon Ayuk. He's great after the catch if you throw it to him, because he's going to make guys miss. He could probably play returner as well. However, the reason he fell this far, well, number 1 because of the combine, but number 2, hands. Like, he will drop some passes and he fumbles quite a bit. Those are his 2 big issues. And if you can clean up you can just clean that up, he could become, I think, an elite running back. He has the potential to be a really, really, really good running back in the NFL. Like, when Adrian Peterson came out, he had a fumbling issue. If you could fix that, I think he could, not going to say he's going to be Adrian Peterson, obviously, but I think he could be like a top, as I said before, top 32 running back in the NFL, which doesn't sound like much, but there are a lot of good running backs in this league, because running backs are one of the most easily replaceable positions. I think Eno Benjamin could easily be a starter for an NFL team in the future, and I think he's one of the biggest steals in this class, and technically he's my number 1 steal in this class, because he was the lowest picked out of all of my steals on this board. And so that is it. Those are my draft steals, my top 20. And I'll go through one more time. At 20, we had CeeDee Lamb to the Cowboys. At 19, Jaylon Johnson to the Bears. 18, AJ Epenesa to the Buffalo Bills. 17, Josh Jones to the Arizona Cardinals. 16, Devin Duvernay to the Baltimore Ravens. Number 15, Anthony McFarland to the Pittsburgh Steelers. 14, you had Jack Driscoll to the Eagles. 13, you had Biadasz to the Dallas Cowboys. At number 12, they had Bryce Hall to the Jets. 11, Nick Harris to the Browns. 10, Todd Johnson to the Bucks. 9, Curtis Weaver to the Dolphins. 8, Netane Muti to the Broncos. 7, Bravvion Roy to the Carolina Panthers. Number 6, James Proche to the Baltimore Ravens. And number 5, Prince Tega Wanogho to the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 4, Coughlin to the Giants. Number 3, Geno to the Ravens. Number 2, KJ Hill to the Chargers. And number 1, Eno Benjamin to the Arizona Cardinals. So, there you go. Those are rankings. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll be making more videos soon. See you next time. Have a good day. Peace out, y'all.